Dear Lord, we thank you for this day and for bringing all of us here safely tonight. If it is your will, we ask that you show us the way and guide us in making the decisions for the betterment of our village. In closing, dear Lord, we thank you for another day of life, all the creations you have placed here for us to enjoy, and especially for our American flag blowing in the breeze to remind us of our freedom. In God's name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Oh, you forgot to turn it on, huh? Okay, Matt, back to you, or I should say over to you.
Councilman Otten.
Here.
Councilman Bishop.
Here.
Councilman Herschel.
Here.
Councilman Henry.
Here.
Mayor Junkins.
Here.
Councilman Sassine.
Here.
Recorder Sassine. Here. Councilman Snyder.
Here.
Okay, I hope everybody got their council packs this week. There was a little different delivery because our chief was on vacation. He wasn't back yet, and he found out that the individual that was delivering the council packs, he was in the middle. He got 3 of the 7, I think, out, and he had to go to, there was an accident he had to respond to. And one of the things that we didn't talk to him, I guess, point blank, but you don't put the envelopes in the U.S. mailbox. You put them in the guys, in the storm, between the storm door and door is the best place to put them when they do. But anyway, so I hope you all have your May 3, 2021 minutes, and at this point, I would entertain a motion to approve the May 3, 2021 minutes as presented.
So moved. Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Any question on the motion? If there be no question on the motion, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Thank you. Back to you, Matt, for your report.
The next council meeting will be held on Monday, June 7th, 2021 at 8 p.m. Tonight, under new business, there will be the first reading for an ordinance authorizing and directing the mayor on behalf of the Municipal Recreation Board of the Village of Bethlehem to enter into a lease agreement with the Bethlehem Fire Department Incorporated for the term of 1 year, beginning July 1, 2021 and ending June 30, 2022. Also, under new business, I would like to discuss the possibility, whatever council's opinions are, of potentially continuing to professionally record and publish our council meetings to the village Facebook page. I've spoke with Devin, and she has informed me that she would be more than happy to continue providing her current service at the same rate that we approved her for originally. I've received some feedback from quite a few residents. I do have my computer with me, so if you would like for me to kind of spit off some analytics under new business about how many people are watching the videos and that, I'd be more than happy to do that, but I'd like to get council's opinion on that. And lastly, the mayor and I are looking to reopen the meetings back to public attendance. Would be our second meeting in June, being the 21st. Once we do reopen, we will strongly encourage all in attendance to wear a mask, social distance, and we will limit the amount of people in attendance who require, and we will also require them to sign in. That's all I have tonight, Mayor.
Okay, thanks, Matt. on our new business, we'll take up the accountant treasurer's report. She's not here tonight because you'd be surprised how many people are still wanting their taxes filed today. Today's the day that they're supposed to be in, so she's down there trying to get her taxes done for her. Anyway, so we'll address the financial report under new business. Next thing is the mayor's report, and I will try to keep it short, but I like to keep council informed of some of the things that are going on here. There's many things that I'd be here till midnight if I told you everything. So, but I'd like to tell you the important things. Anyway, recapping here, back on Tuesday, May the 2nd, May 4, the village crew repaired a water break on Bethlehem Boulevard West, which is right above the entrance to Forest Park. This water line was an old steel pipe with odd-sized fittings. Our crew had to call several suppliers for fittings because we don't have those on our shelf. Finally, National Road Utility opened up for one of our crew members to go out there, and he took fittings with him to match up and pick up what we needed for repairs. And this project started about 4 p.m. and did not conclude till about 11 p.m. That's when they checked out at 11 o'clock at night. It was sort of a cold night and a dark night, but we got the job done. On Thursday, May 6th, our village crew worked on our sanitary sewer line down on Bethlehem Boulevard East, which is on the right side of the road in the berm, which was the tail end to the sanitary sewer line repair that occurred in Green Tree Road down over the hill, steep hillside there on April the 26th. Our original plan was to do this major maintenance project, was scheduled for Monday, May 3, but we were rained out. Our original scope was to clean out the partial obstruction that existed as a result of the previous problem on Green Tree Road. This project has been completed. We had police protection provided on both ends for the crew when they worked on the side of the busy boulevard. That's pretty busy down there. People come around the bend coming up for Bell and Grove, and you could get run over real quick like. We sent our Ford Crown Vic out for a couple repairs to the front end steering, which ended up costing about $1,100. I thought there was one thing, but they ended up, I think, replacing a wheel bearing. This was out of service from Friday, May 7. We thought we'd have it back the same day, but it didn't get back till Tuesday, May 11, 3 days later. Luckily, we still have some functional cruisers, so we weren't inconvenienced any. On Tuesday, May 11th, our street crew started extending the village's 6-inch water line at the end of Maple Lane into the Raybar's property to accommodate several new customers. There's, looking inside the Raybar's gate there's 2 lots in Ohio County and there's 2 in Marshall County. And we made propositions to them. We were going to supply water and sanitary sewer, but when all was done, the sanitary sewer, it would be expensive for them. So, and that wouldn't be that much of we wouldn't generate that much. We didn't want to get in a situation where we were going to spend thousands of dollars to develop an area that the return on our investment would not be justified. So anyway, we're extending the 6-inch line on the end of Maple Lane. Right now, there's an old hydrant by the old Pinner House there, which is cemented. I say cemented. It's leaded into the joint. So we're going to replace that, and we're going to put a hydrant on the inside there. And what we do, we go in so far, and then the various residents are going to have to come to us and hook up from there. So, yeah, I want. This project is not complete because of the weather. We started out like on a Monday and got rained out, and then started doing other things, and then went back, and we've been working on it a few hours every day. And also, the project isn't completed because we ran into several unexpected bumps in the trenches. There was a steel culvert that came through there. We have to go underneath there. Oh, Ben, he could tell me more about that. I didn't see him sitting over there. And plus there was an abandoned, gas line in there, Ben?
We found probably about 12 different pipes altogether now.
Okay.
And different gas lines, water lines. Oh, it's a good time.
Thanks for the help. Anyway, because we did receive that, we encountered unexpected bumps in the trenches, as well as some areas needed addressed now. That we intend to keep working this assignment until it's complete. But maybe Ben will get as part of the crew over there, and then these other things that crop up daily that need to be addressed almost yesterday type thing, he's been getting complete for me. On Thursday, May 13, Friday, May 14, the West Virginia highways were doing some pothole patching, finishing Ridgecrest Road into the intersection at the traffic light, turning left onto State Route 91 west down to Spruce Street to the new bridge. In fact, they were up here working, and at that point they were out on Chapel Road, wouldn't clear out to Suicide. And I called my contact at the state, and I told the gal that they were up here working now, and I said, if you go from the Marathon station westbound and go down Spruce Street there, I said there's about 4 nice potholes on the right on the berm. Well, and she said, I'll see if I can get hold of them. Well, they either had it on their list, but they did take care of that on Friday. This maintenance is great and is appreciated, but there are more that needs to be addressed. Just like in the intersection, for instance, if you've ever traveled through the intersection in the rain, if you're coming safe from town and you're sitting in the lane, you're going to turn right onto Ridgecrest Road, or if you're sitting at the Farm Fresh there and waiting to pull out and turn left, the road is very, very wavy in there, and when it rains, it creates puddle. And if you're sitting there, you get a bath. And I know I've talked to them, I think years ago, about putting in some storm sewers there and getting rid of that and leveling that out, but for some reason they don't want to dig up the road, and I'm going to work on that with them again. That needs to be corrected. In fact, I'd like to see Ridgecrest Road repaved, or the whole intersection, and like Chapel Road out to the new high-level bridge there. Anyway, I've been working closely with the Bethlehem Fire Department to get the necessary permits in place, because the groundbreaking occurred on Saturday, May 1st, and the groundwork footer will commence shortly. And I just found out today they're going to be doing some excavation tomorrow, and they'll be putting the footer in on Wednesday. The village will be providing the water and sewer service soon, with the plans being prepared now. The initial shipment of the building materials was delivered on Monday, May the 3rd to the site, and we've had Wheeling Police and our own police going through there at nighttime to kind of keep an eye on the materials. If you're in the construction business, you'll notice the price of lumber, plywood, 4x8, 3/4 inch. Somebody told me the other day it was close to $90 a sheet. So, and I mean, if you go down to try to get some lumber, especially the contractors have some stuff tied up already and they've got it under roof, but the cost of building materials is going through the roof. The Bethlehem Presbyterian Church had their parking lot crack sealed on Wednesday, May 12th, and then on Thursday they took put sealer all the way on the parking lots. The entire parking lot was coated with a sealer, and then they allowed Friday and Saturday for it to cure. Again, the month of May has continued to be a very busy, just as matters picked up in April. I feel the change in the weather, a slight winding down of the coronavirus, people going outdoor, work doing, residents tired of being self-quarantined because of the virus, anticipated events such as the village steak fry and fireworks and the like. We can't stop living entirely. I want to follow up with Gary Hamilton, who is associated with the volunteer group Volunteer Wheeling, who was responsible for the super cleanup job that they concluded on Sunday morning, May the 2nd, on Bethlehem Boulevard East. That was from the traffic light down at the Farm Fresh down to Hangers. I was advised that they intended to do the other side on the east and also Bethlehem Boulevard West at a later date. and I think they plan to do it sometime this month, and I will be in contact with them. But as soon as I find out the intended dates, I want to again schedule a police traffic protection like we did for them on the Sunday morning that they worked. They were very appreciative of that too. In fact, today when I went down in the Grove, there was a senior citizen down there. I saw a car on I guess that's Idabel Street, the shortcut that you can take down to Junior Avenue. He was in shorts, and he had a hat, mask, and he had gloves, and he had one of those pickers, and he had a white bucket, and he was picking up from where you get down, continue down to the Grove there. He was working on the left side. And there's been a couple senior citizens down there for a couple years, and I know that I've seen them in action during the daytime before. Also, in concluding, Ben Gilbert, our village crew supervisor, still has about 50 jobs on his agenda. It says that it seems like that we get 2 jobs completed, the next day we got 3 added to his list. So, anyway, that concludes my report. Other officers report. TC, you have anything to report tonight?
Advised you that we're going to have a first reading of the ordinance. And I guess I do at this time. We haven't heard anything from the West Virginia Ethics Commission with regard to the request for the advisory opinion, other than they have contacted me for some additional information. One of the things they requested was information on whether or not any of the officers, past or present, meaning president, members of the board of directors, or other officers were paid, or if any dividend was paid. And I've advised them that after my investigation that that's not the case. Nobody has been paid. The second thing they inquired about is whether or not it's a nonprofit or a profit-formed corporation. I had stated in my request for advisory opinion that it was a nonprofit, and that was from information that I had gathered during my workup from them, from various documents which had been provided to us, to the village, that it was a nonprofit. They advised me that Secretary of State's office shows that it was formed in 1949 as a for-profit or profit. And they asked me to try to clarify that. So I got a hold of the mayor, talked with him, and then instead of contacting George Sassine, the president, because the mayor advised me that he most likely would contact Becky Walters, I contacted her directly. She provided to me tonight a copy of the original charter, which was issued by the state of West Virginia in 1949. It does not state that it's a nonprofit. The formation of it in that document would lead me to conclude that it was for profit. The mayor thinks that there's been some tweaking or changes to that. They're of record, and they're contacting their accountant to advise me if there are, and if there are to provide it to me. So that inquiry that was one of the two of what I recall inquiries posed to me by them. And I'll wait to see what the fire department's accountants provide to me, and then provide it back to them. Let them conclude what they believe should be concluded. It's the legal department of the Ethics Commission that has been contacting me. Not the commission itself. I think they only meet once a month, to the best of my recollection, and I think they meet in June, and I believe it's the second Tuesday. Those hours may have changed since the last time I dealt with them, but that's my recollection of when it was, so. That's everything up to date with regard to that matter.
Thank you, Judy. Next is, we normally have is the police chief's report. That'll be next meeting, because we just handed out a report last meeting, so. Committee reports. Aaron, Parks and Recreation.
I have nothing this evening, just the same, we're just in the works with these grants, still waiting to hear back from the state, but other than that, same as last meeting.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I talked to Aaron today, I thought maybe you were gonna have some more, I don't wanna steal your thunder or anything, but, they're in the process of, getting the supplies ready. Tim is, he's our food provider. One of the things that I guess sort of excited them, because the advanced ticket sales for the steak fry is further advanced than any other steak fry that they can recall. And I think one of the reasons for that is, you know, it's a culmination of things, what's going on in the world now. It's springtime, the weather's, people are working outside, they want to do this, they want to do that, they want to get out. So I've had different inquiries from people that, you're going to have a steak fry this year. This was months ago. And I said, well, at that time, there wasn't any real plans in place and everything. So, but Aaron's, the other Aaron, their sidekick, she's been very busy at, you know, getting things lined up, and, you know, she's like a one-arm paper hanger and everything, because I know, like I say, I tried to get up to some questions and answer today, which I got and everything, so, but I didn't know what you were going to report to, and I don't know what she told you, but yeah, things are in motion, and they're, one of these days they're going over and get some supplies. Like, one of the things I asked them, how much charcoal you have up there? 0. And I know there's other places to get it, but I told her that the previous years I was involved, I got it over at Sam's Club, but there's also World King and some of those other places that have it. And I know Aaron usually shops around and gets the best price. So. But they're working on the details. But one thing they are excited about, and they're out getting door prizes. I don't know what the exact number is for the ticket sales. I didn't get that information. I didn't ask for one thing. But they're in full gear, so. Okay. Police report, anything, Bobby?
I have nothing.
Okay. Roads and streets, sir. Councilman Lawton and Harris.
I don't.
Okay, I just found out this afternoon, what you don't know yet, and I'll tell you, I'm supposed to pick up the specs for the 3 proposed streets that we want paved this year. Jack Tush has been very busy. His partner, Jack Shelley's just got back in town here right around the first of the month, and they got a lot of balls in the air. But in fact, I told him, I said, I noticed in the legal ad in this morning paper that Moundsville, which they do work for too, advertise bids on some paving. But I'll pick those up tomorrow, and I want to get a legal ad prepared. I want to get it in a paper, because I'd like to get that behind us and get a contract awarded. So, but anyway, I just not want to steal your thunder, but I just picked that up this afternoon when I got a call from him. Okay. Zoning, Mark?
I've had no calls
Okay.
from anyone, thank you.
Okay. Ben, do you have anything you want to tell council tonight?
I was just going to remind everyone, we've got the deadline coming up for that final allotment of those meters. We're down to about 250 in the back there, so we've got more than.
Tell him, Ben's been working overtime, and it's not that he's wanting the overtime. He's trying to get this program done, and he's been working Saturday and Sunday, a few hours each day maybe, and several times he would take one of the other guys, so there'd be 2 of them, and he's trying to get all this orchestrated so that, I don't think he wants to read meters next month. That's one of the things, but we still have to have our computers, the 3 here in his backyard, so there's 4 computers that have to be updated so that they will accept the program. So, I don't want to steal your thunder, but come on, tell me, tell us more.
No, I was telling these guys here, we're over halfway through the full install now, so we can, while the software is not updated, we can get general raw data off of all of these meters that we've installed within about an hour driving around. So that's half of our meter reading that we can do in a span of an hour. So we're obviously, these guys back here have been waiting for this for a really long time and are really excited about how it's coming along, and we're just trying to push through and get it done as quick as we can, because we're ready for the change. So
You got a date on when the software will be ready?
that is a situation between this muni billing and the village office. The trouble is the current software they can't get the information off of, because our current software provider will not provide it the key to unlock the data, so we can't just transfer it to the new program. He refuses to do that. So they're
What do you
having
mean?
to
We pay.
find.
We pay the guy. It's our key. It's our information. It's not his information.
It's a conversion issue is what I'm told at the moment, between taking the old data on the program they're using now and moving it to the new software. Now, I'm not as privy to all these details as others that would be sitting in these chairs, so I can't speak completely about it, but that's the gist of it, is what I've got so far. So that's a hang up for us, because it kind of makes it a lot less delicate in reading the meters as it is. We don't have customer data that we're pulling. We're just pulling a meter number and its reading, and then matching it up with current information, rather than it telling us who I've got and who I didn't. So we're also looking forward to that, and hopefully that transition happens smoothly and soon.
Okay, any other questions for Brandon Wise? I have a hard time catching up with him. He moves too fast during the day. He got too many projects going, so.
Do we need to buy more meters?
Yeah.
Yeah, but we've been waiting
One
on
lot
that
left of
CARES.
about $40,000.
So we need to do that?
Yeah, no, we were waiting for the CARES funding to come in. Remember,
Okay.
And we still have to the end of July
Yeah.
to that. So don't think like I'm saying we're running out of time in that regard.
Yeah, so the state just got their allotment of CARES funding, I think today. So it stands to reason that ours is probably a few weeks behind, I would guess.
Yeah, the state tax commissioner is putting out the specs for all municipalities and what we have to do and how we have to do it.
Yeah, Senator Manchin actually has a conference on Wednesday at Ogilvy that I'm going to go to. He's going to talk about the CARES funding, how it can be spent, and all those other things. I registered for that. I'm going to go up Wednesday. I think it starts at 10 o'clock.
Yeah, he's having people there from the auditor's office, but he will be there by video. And I'm taking Jamie up there Wednesday morning, and because I want. Yeah, well, I want her to get involved. And also in the same vein, we just opened up a separate checking account for this fund, and we have to, and what we're trying to find out, one of the things I want to find out, what it covers, what we can use that money for. And everything has to be documented, so we got things that will lined up to, to adhere to that, so. Anyway, anything else? Okay. If there be no more committee reports, we'll move into.
Oh, wait, water, you forgot water sewer.
Huh?
You forgot water sewer.
Oh, okay, well, sorry,
Yeah.
there's nothing on water and sewer.
Yeah,
Okay.
I got two things, actually. I'm
Okay.
sorry. The water line pipe for the Rabar property, two questions about that. Shouldn't that have been something that the developer put in rather than the village pay for if he's creating a housing
No,
development?
We're taking it to them, and then they have to come from the other end and come to our connections.
Should we go onto the property of the development?
Only 10 feet.
We're on, Ben will tell you more.
And then shouldn't that have been something that was discussed at council before it was done?
I don't know, maybe.
Okay. The second question I have is, there's been a lot of talk with the new rates going into effect from the city of Wheeling with water sewer.
That's something Jamie's working
Yeah,
on.
if you look at us just last month, we lost almost $10,000 in our water fund. We operated at a $10,000 loss. On the sewer fund, we operated at almost $15,000 loss. Have we started any discussions about what we're gonna do with our rates, how that's gonna affect our residents?
Waiting for the counter to Jamie to bring things to
Yeah,
us.
I have talked with Jamie about what we need to do, and how we need to do it.
Because they're already, wheelings are already in effect, so we're
She's
losing
been
money
unavail-
right now.
She's been unavailable until
Yeah.
today to
Okay.
do it. We hope to get started on it. She knows we gotta get started on it
Okay.
right away. We'll have to back, Bill for
That's
what
gonna
we've,
hurt our residents
what
some
we've lost.
fierce.
Jeez, yeah,
Well-
I'm very happy.
Well, there's nothing we can do about it. We, you know, we have to go through the same process. We have to know exactly what we need to do, so.
Okay.
You know, as far as the Raybar property goes, we basically went like with PSC rules. So, in other words, we're taking it to the property, and then they have to come to us. So, I mean, we didn't want to get into a development,
Right.
so we're just doing basically the minimum.
I just mean with the expenditure, when you reach a certain threshold on expenditures, it's supposed to be done with council approval, and we're over that limit on this, and.
Well, what you see there too is the storage part of it. And I'd like to find out, and I've tried to find out from Wheeling, how they determine that. They have units. If you look at the bill or something, how do they know, how do we know that we get an accurate and a correct meter reading from them?
What I'm saying is the expenditure from the water fund of $13.94 for water line pipe for the
Yes.
property. I don't think
Well,
that.
we also bought some water line pipe for Grangery for the repairs that we've had to make too.
That
And
was
that's
sewer.
all.
That was sewer, right?
Well, there's two types. They're both PVC. One's strictly graded for water and the other's graded for sanitary sewer.
Was Green
And-
Trees purchased for water or sewer?
The
That was
reason
for sewer.
What you're looking at right there is exclusively for the rate bar property.
That's what I thought.
And that's because the price of those pipes are going up astronomically right now, so.
But are we
We-
not supposed to have any expenditure over 1,000 approved by council?
That's true.
Okay.
That's what the ordinance says.
Okay, I would encourage us to stick to that.
I will make a note of that next time. We'll get you involved.
That doesn't have, I don't mean just me, I mean
Yeah.
all of council.
Yeah, well, it can come out on the council floor, but also what Ben was saying, the price of the pipes that he was able to get here recently, we got about 3 sources we can go to. And their inventory is, the shelves are getting bare. Not only that, what did you tell me, Ben, that the price per foot used to be,
$7 is now up to 13.
and what is it now?
13 if you're ordering it now.
So, right there, the price of pipe's gone up astronomically. But I'm just telling you that I'm not disputing what you're asking, okay? Anything else, Tim?
No, that's it,
Okay.
those were my 2 things. I'm
Okay.
sorry.
Okay, is there anything to come up before old business tonight? Okay, if there's nothing under old business, I have a few things under new business to start out with. First, the list of bills. I wonder if you'll look at the number 2 under, for council approval, the Be Still photograph. It says filming for 04/01, that should be 04/19. And then the lay of the levy meeting was on the 20th, the next day, so change out 01 to 19 if you would on your copies there. Okay, well, after you made that change, I would entertain a motion to approve the May 2021 list of bills for payment.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, a motion's been made and second. Any question on the motion? If there be no question, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried, thank you. And then we have the financial statement, August 30, 2021. Is there any questions on the financial statement? If there be any no questions on a financial statement, I will entertain a motion for the financial statement, April 30, 2021, to be approved and filed for audit.
So moved. Second.
Okay, there's been a motion made and second. Any question on the motion? If there be no question, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Oh, same sign. Motion carried. One of the things I have tonight is, finally got written up, is a resolution in memory of Stanley M. Wojcik. And I'll read it to you. Resolution in memory of Mr. Stanley M. Wojcik. Whereas Stanley Stocky M. Wojcik, highly respected citizen of Bethlehem, West Virginia, leaves his position as Councilman 7th Ward of the Village of Bethlehem on February 3, 2021, upon his unexpected death. And whereas the said Stanley Stocky M. Wojcik has always been in the forefront of those citizens anxious to assist their neighbors and willing to promote the welfare of the community. And whereas the said Stanley Stocky M. Wojcik served the Village of Bethlehem as Councilman 7th Ward for 14 years, July 1, 2007 through February 3, 2021, for which the citizens are most grateful. And be it resolved by the Council of the Village of Bethlehem, now in session this 17th day of May 2021, that we do hereby advise the family of Stanley Stocky M. Wojcik of the deep appreciation for the services he has rendered to the Village of Bethlehem during his time as councilman, and be it further resolved that a copy of this resolution be presented with sincere appreciation to the Stanley Stocky Wojcik family. The above resolution adopted this 17th day of May 2021. Now with this I have a sheet for everybody here to sign that goes along with this resolution. Also, this resolution we're going to get a frame for it similar to what we did for Ray and myself up there, and want to get a frame exact size, and I'd like to get a mug shot there. I don't know if I want to talk to Beverly or see if see which would be more appropriate. No. I think the next thing would be in order is to have a motion made and seconded to approve the resolution as I just presented.
So moved.
Second.
Jeez. Okay, the motion's been made and seconded to approve the resolution that I just read. Any question on the motion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion, against, the motion carried. While we're signing that thing, next I want to get to the solicitor to have the first reading of the ordinance with the fire department. Lisa.
Okay, you have tonight the first reading, an ordinance entitled, an ordinance authorizing and directing the mayor of the Village of Bethlehem, start again. An ordinance authorizing and directing the mayor on behalf of the Municipal Recreation Board of the Village of Bethlehem to enter into a lease agreement with the Bethlehem Fire Department, Inc., with a term of 1 year beginning July 1, 2021 and ending June 30th, 2022. This is a standard lease agreement for the playground that you're all familiar with. There are no new terms to it. It's for 1 year.
Okay, at this time I would entertain a motion to approve the first reading of the said ordinance, to approve the first reading of this ordinance.
Excuse me, Dawn. May I, before we finish the, in the case that the fire department sells that property before this lease may run out, or
Well,
in the future, is there anything we should think of?
yeah, that's a couple years down the thing, but if they sell it, I would say they would be just selling the building and not the land down there. I don't know this, don't quote me, but I would think that would be the proper thing, because I think any future building owner of their building would not want to be dealing with the playground. That'd be separate. I think that should still be between the village and maybe the fire department if they still own it then. Maybe they wanna sell it to the village or something, I don't know.
Was it in the lease that if it's not used as a department, it goes back to the Bopp family? Do we lose that playground then, if that were to be the case?
I'd have to, I know there's something, there's something in there.
I think that's in the conveyance to the fire department.
So would that take effect as soon as they move into their new building? That it's no longer I don't.
No, I don't know that. I don't have the original lease,
I
but
just
we're
didn't
talking
know
about
you
playground property as opposed to the fire department property.
I think
You know
that's
what I mean?
I thought it was all the same plot, and that's why we leased it from them.
No, it's just the playground down there.
My recollection is that it's the playground property which was sold to the fire department. And I don't think that includes the building.
Okay.
That's my recollection,
Yeah.
but, you know,
Understand?
that's 40 years ago.
Mm.
But if it was a quick sale tomorrow, it would be subject to this lease agreement, would have it for years. I would suggest, I mean, I'm not familiar with any of this that you brought up, and having the mayor mentioned that they might. So I think you ought to start right now, dealing with the fire department, that if you're gonna sell it, you know, we wanna buy it if you do. And, you know, get a $1 option, something to that effect, that at any time they wanna sell it within the next X number of years, the village has the first right to purchase.
You know,
If you're interested in it. If you wanna keep it a park, and so.
that property, the whole property in the ball field is owned by 3 different entities, I think. The fire department has some, and I think the league has some, and I think there's one of the heirs of the Bops or something still has. That'd have to be looked into.
Yeah, from what I understood when we first started looking at cutting the grass, the playground and department building were one. The field is owned by the Mountaineer League, and then the slope by Mrs. Fraser's house
Yeah.
was the remaining heir of the Bopp family.
Yeah, so that's the three parts. Maybe that ought to be, I don't know, maybe it ought to be sold to the pole team, you know, or the Mountaineer League.
afford that.
They don't want the other.
Yeah, well, anyway, this
They
is
couldn't
something,
afford to have
That'd be
two
the
barns.
case, and the village ought to form a committee and look into it, and,
yeah, well, this is something that like TC, we need to look
get up
into.
front to be the ones that have the right to purchase it from all of them. Be my suggestion.
Okay.
Is that something we could add to this lease?
Not this time.
No? Okay.
Okay, the motion's on the floor, and it's been made and second. Is there any more discussion on the motion? If there would be no more discussion?
Did someone?
No
No
one
one
made-
made a motion or second on that. We still need a motion and a second.
I thought there was already a motion made.
He questioned, he had a question.
Oh, okay, okay. There was a question before the motion then.
Discussion on the motion.
Okay, well, I'll entertain a motion right now then to adopt on first, not to adopt, to approve on first reading. Approve on first reading.
So move. Second?
Okay, now, is there any question on the motion? If there be no question on the motion, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried, thank you. Now, is there any other all or new business to come up before council tonight?
I have one thing, it's regarding building permits. I was in the office earlier this morning for a little bit. The girls in the office aren't exactly sure at what point qualifies a resident or a company to get a building permit. Does it start at the time of moving dirt or when they start building? I know they said there's been a couple different answers in the past, one saying yes, it starts when dirt starts getting moved, and one that says no. I think we need to give them a definite yes or no on when building permits need to start. That's my only question about that.
Well, it's my impression that they're supposed to get their building permit before they start.
Moving dirt, like just period.
In other words, they should come in and get, we have 2 permits. We have a residential and we have a commercial.
Sure.
And they should come in and get their permit and do their things with the girls there before they start. And the ones that are a little more complicated, that's the ones I get into and I'll bounce some things off Mark before. And also, we have a building inspector, which is down in Moundsville. He's an employee of Moundsville, and I can't get a hold of him until after 4 o'clock, and that's when he has come up and gone over some things for me. So, but it's mine now. I've got somebody that's playing around, and I've been after him for a long time. I had the party come down here, I had a meeting with him. I showed him the forms. I told him 3 times basically what's needed, and he prior to that, he told me he was coming down and settle up with the girls, and he has not done that. And
Well, I'm not talking about any
No, I'm
certain
telling
party.
you
I'm
what's
just
going on.
asking, when dirt starts getting moved, does that qualify, you need a permit? Or does it start when the building starts?
I think I've quizzed you about that before in the past, and I don't know what, I think anyone can move dirt as much as they want, but, I think the digging of I think before they
Moving dirt for a foundation or a footer.
Digging a footer.
That requires a building permit.
yeah,
Okay.
clearing off is different.
Sure, so if, as soon as they start clearing that dirt for foundation work, that's when it qualifies, you need a building permit.
Yes, that's a reasonable exercise of the village's fire, and that's gonna be the uniform way we do it.
Okay, the girls in the office weren't sure, so I just wanted to clear that up for them and
Okay.
let them know 100%. As soon as work starts being done for future foundation,
And
that's
a lot
when.
of times when you find out somebody's doing something, or policeman goes out that day
Yep.
and either brings them back or he brings something back, either the contractor but he gets that done for me, so,
That's all I had, thank you.
okay. Anything else under new business tonight?
Yeah, I wanted to see what council's opinion was on continuing to record the meetings. It's just kind of an open discussion. I'm neither for nor against. I just kind of wanted an open discussion.
I think it's great and we should keep it.
I agree.
I'm good with it.
Well, I'm sorry,
Do
what was
we-
this?
We all think it's a great idea.
On this side.
To keep posting these to Facebook, we all think it's a great idea.
Okay, yeah, Matt and I said something before.
Should we maybe make a motion to continue it for a year and then reevaluate? What would we like to do?
I don't think we need a motion, I think that's the mayor
Just verbal?
hires it out.
Until she gets tired of photographing us, we'll tell her not to come anymore. We'll tell her, yeah, no, I think that's a good idea, that if the council agrees, that's great, that's more so. Okay, well, you can make a note of that in a minute, Matt, that the council agreed that would be a good idea. Any other business to come before council? If there be no other business, I would entertain a motion for adjournment.
So moved.
Second?
All in favor signify by saying aye. Meeting adjourned.